TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Some early members of Bruno, Pedro, or even Bob Backlund, they were the three major WWF kingpins prior to the Hogan era. How do you compare them in the ring and how they conducted themselves?
Pedro had a hot temper. Pedro was, when he threw you in for that gut shot where he slapped you in the stomach, that was a real deal, man. He would nail you.
Right.
If something didn't go well, Pedro would come in the back, he'd take a chair, throw it against the wall. Bob Backlund's memories, you'd walk in the dressing room, he'd be hanging upside down in the stall in the bathroom with the gravity boots. He was very into the step test. And who's the last one?
Bruno.
Oh, Bruno was just, I met Bruno when he came in later. I wasn't actively wrestling when Bruno was here. I came in when Bruno started doing commentation with Vince.
Right.
And then Vince wanted them to have one more match, and he said he would if he had it with me. And he still tells that story to this day. He says, because he watched me and the way I take care of people and the way I was working with people, he goes, I'll work again if I work with Lombardi, and actually Danny Davis as Mr. X. So it was David and Bruno against me and Danny.
Who was the most important out of the three when it came to business?
As far as what?
The business as a whole. Who do you think who did the best?
Smartest?
Yeah.
Out of Pedro, Bob Backlund, and Bruno, I would say Bruno had the biggest name of them all in the North. As far as smart, I don't know what they did with their money, so I don't know. I'm sure they all did well. Bob Backlund, he said he never bought furniture for his house.
I can believe it.
He bought an oil truck. Bob Backlund's a guy that you can put him on a desert island, he'll make money.
He goes to the local Y to take showers to save money on his water bill.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
And Pedro, I heard he was doing something with a school. Or
He's sick now, so
what's wrong with him?
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but he's doing pretty bad.
Really,
his health is.
He's got to be in his 80s, right?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah,
he's up there. What was the locker room reaction when Vince Senior Vince Senior was going to step down and Vince Jr. was going to take over the company?
Well, Vince Senior got sick,
yeah,
and then Vince Jr. Vince Senior was very high on Andre the Giant. He would have never liked the Hogan thing. You know what I mean? But Vince was high on Hogan. He's seen the future. I mean, Andre was a novelty, but not to be a regular every single day.
Yeah. Coming into the territory and then leaving.
Yeah. Andre loved me. He actually had me drive him around and all that stuff. And
you can tell some Andre stories.
Well, an Andre story once was I called my mom. I used to pick up Andre on 47th Street. We used to stay at the Ramada, and I used to drive him up to Poughkeepsie. And Andre do whatever I asked him to do. I said, Andre, can we go to this restaurant? We go here, we go there. I said, Andre, you do me one favor. Come and meet my mother. So I call my mother up. I go, I got this young kid, this new wrestler. He just started. I want to bring him by. I want to bring him by the house. She goes, oh, okay, that's nice. And I bring Andre to my mom's house. And he was like so happy. He was hugging her.
Right.
And,
compare, I guess, Vince and Vince Sr. On the immediate changes you and the other guys noticed right away. How would you compare them?
I would say Vince Sr. had cared about the territories, cared about the little territories, which I think is a good thing because they develop talent. And Vince Jr., he just went in everybody's backyard. You know what I mean? Just opened up everyone, put everybody out of business. But then he opens a performance center and he's trying to do what the territories were doing. And I think the territories were doing it better. Because you can't take a football player, put him in a top scale environment like the performance center and turn him into one of us. It doesn't work that way.
They need to work every
territories bring the people that really love it.
Yeah.
And it's a dead thing.
Nobody really has a passion for the business anymore. They're in it just for the money.
No, it's true.
What are your memories of how everyone reacted to WWF going national and starting to pretty much run other markets to base out of,
I think when I seen Saturday Night Main Event for the first time, I think it was in St. Louis, and then that was the first national thing. And I think everybody was pretty excited because it was just a Northeast territory. We would just go like from Rochester, Buffalo, all the way to Maryland. It was really close. Nobody ever flew. My first plane ticket was to Pittsburgh, and I thought I was going around the world.
Do you remember your debut at MSG, by the way?
Yes.
Was it Mad Dog?
Mad Dog Vachon.
What are your memories of that match? And how important was that to you personally?
My memories of Mad Dog Vachon in my first match in Madison Square Garden was getting hit in the head with a metal chair about 5 times, and him doing that thing where you pull your cheek like that, but you're really ripping my mouth. I mean, he was just rough. He was just he was everything that you should not do in wrestling as far as...
He didn't take care of you?
It's not that he didn't take care of me. I don't think he took care of anyone. I think he just was a tough son of a gun.